Well, I thought Ipswich Town's transfer business was near enough done, but we still seem to be being linked with a number of different players. Here is your latest Ipswich Town transfer update. Good morning, afternoon or evening, depending on whenever you're watching this. My name is Harvey Bell, an Ipswich Town supporting content creator on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So if you do enjoy today's video, please do subscribe and leave a like on the video down below. Now we are going to get on to talk about Jack Clarke. That's the big news of the day. The Sunderland winger, supposedly Town have bid for, and we will get onto that. But first, we're going to talk about a couple of other bits, beginning with an outgoing, and that's young Cameron Humphreys, who has joined Wycombe Wanderers on loan for the season. Now, in my most recent video, I said that I was expecting Cameron Humphreys to be going out on loan. This came as no major surprise, really. Perhaps the only surprise being that he's gone to a League One club instead of a Championship club. He's somebody that has performed well for Town over the last couple of seasons. Struggled a bit for minutes last season because the club were obviously doing so well. The season before in League One, he performed really well in every opportunity that he had. For that winter, actually, he became quite a big part of Kieran McKenna's squad. Ultimately, last season, with the addition of Jack Taylor, he just fell down the pecking order a little bit, but that does not take away from the fact that he's a very technically gifted footballer, somebody with huge potential, and he is at the point in his career now where he does need to be going out and getting regular minutes. So this loan move to me makes a lot of sense. Wycombe Wanderers, a well-established club in League One. I don't necessarily expect them to be pushing for promotion, but also they're a safe bet to not be fighting relegation or have a particularly bad season. So it seems like quite a steady ship for him to go to. Of course, he has gone to someone that he knows. It's his former academy manager, Bloomfield. So that's really good that he can go and work with somebody. There's already that relationship there. That's going to be key to his development. So fingers crossed he has a very good loan spell. Now, onto the incomings front, I thought that actually we were pretty much done. The report the other day was that Ahmedhodzic was coming in. This seems to have slowed down a little bit. I'm not too sure what's going on. In fact, it may well have been announced by the time this video is out, but at the time of recording, it hasn't been announced. All the reports still saying that he's passed a medical and paperwork is just being done. So I'm sure that one will get over the line, but for now, no update on that. A centre-back potentially coming in then. Anel Ahmedhodzic from Sheffield United. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this on the basis that I'm not really sure how reliable the source is. It's coming from the Football Insider. I haven't heard it from anyone else. I haven't heard it from the usuals that you'd usually get it from: Stuart Watson, Fabrizio Romano. Those were the days. These are the sites that I started to get excited by when I hear about a transfer rumour. I'm not hearing it from any of them. Nevertheless, the Football Insider are reporting that we have agreed a £15 million deal with Championship club Sheffield United for the defender. I don't know too much about him. All I'll say is I'm quite surprised that Town are going for another centre-back, because with Cameron Burgess, Jacob Greaves, Luke Wolfenden, Axel Tuanzebe already at the club, of course, George Edmondson as well, I feel like we're already well covered in that department. So adding another defender to me seems a little bit odd, but ultimately we did play three at the back against Liverpool. I expect us to play three at the back quite a lot this season, or a back five, whatever you want to call it. But what I'm talking about here is three centre-backs. So maybe having more depth in that position is a good thing. It can only be a good thing, can't it? Well, then we move on to the big transfer rumour of the day, and that's the fact that Town have supposedly bid 15 million plus add-ons for Sunderland winger Jack Clarke. Now, Jack Clarke is a player that has performed very well in the Championship across the last couple of seasons. Up until Christmas last year, he was the top goal scorer in the Championship. He's a winger. We know that Ipswich Town still potentially looking a little bit light for an out-and-out left winger. We've got people that can cover that position, but nobody, certainly whilst Broadhead is injured, that is a natural left winger. So this deal makes a lot of sense. We're not alone in trying to get him to sign, though, because it's said that Southampton are interested. Sunderland, this is brilliant for them because, of course, the more interest, the more money they can probably make from it. They already value him somewhere around 25 million, so the fact that Town have bid 15 million suggests to me that maybe it's going to be a little bit of a way off, but that's contrary to what Stuart Watson is saying, because Stuart Watson is reporting that the deal is quite advanced. Now, this is another transfer that has sort of come out of nowhere, but it would probably be quite a good signing on the basis that he's someone Kieran McKenna has certainly been watching over the last couple of seasons because we've been linked with him in a number of windows now. He's only 23, so Kieran McKenna can develop him. Obviously, Wes Burns sadly looking like he's injured. Broadhead looking like he's injured. So having somebody that can come in and cover both wings is going to be very, very important. It's going to be important to have somebody that knows where the back of the net is, as Jack Clarke does, somebody that's young and can still develop. So by all means, this is a good transfer. My only worry is the fact that Town do have a lot of attacking players. Of course, as I say, Broadhead and Burns injured at the moment, but they will come back to fitness. George Hurst, Connor Chaplin, Sammy Schmodix, Liam Delap, Armando Broja, if he comes in. We have to fit all of these players in somehow. We have to understand that there's players that have got us to the Premier League that are going to be wanting their minutes in the top flight. It's going to be a big job for Kieran McKenna to keep the squad happy. He managed to do it all of last year, so I back him to be able to do it again. It's just a slight concern that I have, but it would be a much more bigger concern if we didn't have Kieran McKenna at the helm. And I think they all buy into the fact anyway that they might not be starting games, but they still have a massive role to play from the bench. There was a number of games last season where names that you'd expect to start didn't necessarily start, the likes of Chaplin and Broadhead, but they still came off, made a massive difference from the bench. So I don't think it is necessarily about starting in Kieran McKenna's system. I just think it's making sure that you're ready to be able to make an impact when you're called upon, and that's going to be massive. So having Jack Clarke in the attacking ranks would be a terrific signing. Don't really know how close it is yet, but a lot of the reliable sources, including those were the days, including Sky Sports and Stuart Watson, are saying that Town have bid £15 million for Jack Clarke. So let me know down in the comments if you would be happy with this signing. Let me know about the centre-back signing from Sheffield United as well. Do you think we're covered at centre-back? How many more players do you think Ipswich Town are going to bring in? Because this would, with these two additions potentially coming in and Broja, that would mean that Town have signed 12 players, which seems a lot, and it would take our summer spending to well over £80 million, which is of course a lot of money, but not really in the grand scheme of things when it comes to football transfers, because clubs spend a lot of money. But to an Ipswich Town fan, and all of you will know this as Ipswich Town fans, this is much more than we've spent over the last couple of decades, much more than we've spent ever, actually. So this is certainly new waters for us. Give your opinions in the comments. I'm always really happy to hear them. Thanks so much for the support on the channel recently. And as ever, come on you Blues. I'll see you in the next one.